Okay, so all right, so would start right away, and for as I yesterday we dealt with motion graphics using After Effects, and that was for people who were very conversant with After Effects. So today I'm just going to show you how you can use your your CapCut. That's what most of smartphone users make use of. So you can use your CapCut to do simple motion graphics. So that's how it works. But it's different from the After Effects pattern. Where is my CapCut? It's different from After Effects in the sense that in After Effects you can import the this one.
No disappoint this time too. Let me see something from you.
Okay. So the thing is, when it comes to CapCut, you might have to export all your design layers one after the other. That's how it works. So you might have to export all your design layers, or another thing you can do is to create the design from scratch in CapCut. So we'll get to that shortly. You can use your CapCut on your phone. I'll also be using my CapCut here. But first things first, if you are on Pixel Lab, try to export all your layers as separate PNGs. So I'll just do that quickly here. So this is the background. I'll export the background. So let's create a folder for this. So I'll create a new folder, and then I'll say motion graphics, or whatever you want to call it. You can name it motion graphics class. Now, I said there are two ways to do this. First of all, you will need to export everything as a PNG, like all the different layers as PNGs. Then the second method is, instead of doing the design first, what you can do is you go to CapCut and create the design inside of CapCut. Do you understand? So let's do that right away. So I would export everything one after the other. So if you don't have CapCut on your phone, you can go to the website and install CapCut. So I will export this half coconut, go to layer, quick export as PNG. I'll do the same for the other layers. Then I'll do the same for the shadows. Go to quick export as PNG. Then for these ones, let's export them separately. So go to layer, quick export as PNG, the same here. Alright, so we've exported the 3 body cream layers. Now the next thing we're going to do is, okay, we still have this half coconut to export. Go to layer, go to quick export as PNG, and then go to this other one, layer, and go to quick export as PNG. And I think what's left here, our text. Anyways, you can add the text in the video editing software anyway, so if you want to export the text individually, let's just do that one after the other. I think it will make the work easier. So you go to quick export as PNG, you come here, layer, quick export as PNG, you come here, layer, quick export as PNG. So what I'm going to do here, for those that are using smartphones, I am going to make a screen recording, because I was trying to connect my phone to my laptop so that I can display what is on my phone on the screen, but I wasn't able to achieve that before the time of the class. So I would make a screen recording and send to the group chat immediately after the class. So, but it's the same process I would do here that I would do with my phone, but I'm just repeating it. I'll repeat it with my phone so that it will be easy to understand. So So where is the layer I just created? Okay, I think one layer. Alright, so now we've exported everything we used for the design as separate PNGs. So this is my CapCut on my desktop. I wish I had connected my phone before we started, so that would have been easier to understand, but I'll repeat the process, making a screen recording on my phone, and then would go straight. Alright, so I just selected create a new project. Exit. Okay, so here you can select import. Now if you don't have CapCut on your phone, you can install it, or you can make use of the web version. They have their website where they allow you to edit a few things. So I would select all my PNGs and import them there. So the first thing I'll do is to add the background. So this is the background layer, and then the next thing I'll do is to add these ones. That's not where I wanted to add it, so you add it here. If you're using your phone, you can just adjust it and position it. So it's just like you are making the design in CapCut again. So that's just how it is. So imagine that you are redesigning it in CapCut. So it's the same process. So we'll add this. We'll scale this one down as well and position it behind. So you can keep this in front. And then you can bring in this other one. Okay, this is the one that is supposed to be in front, because this one has the shadow. This one has the shadow, so this one would stay in front while the other ones will go behind. So we'll just adjust these ones the way they are supposed to be. So you can just rearrange them. So this is the shadows. I'll bring the shadow. So the shadow is supposed to be under this layer. So I'll select these ones like this and move it upwards. Don't worry if you have issues understanding it from here. I would recreate it with my phone. I wish I had connected my phone before we started, so it would have been easier to comprehend. But nevertheless, let's continue. So this would require that you add a lot of layers. That's why when you're trying to do motion graphics, especially with your smartphone, if you don't want to stress yourself too much, try not to have too many layers. So that's exactly what I just wanted to explain. And then you can adjust this as well. So it's a simple process. If you want to try it out, you can open CapCut on your phone and try rearranging or redesigning what you already did in CapCut. So that's the same process. What's left? Okay, we need to add this care shower. So you can now see it's making us add so many layers that we never planned to add. So what you can now do here is to add keyframes and all of that. So now we have this as a static design. Let's move some of these things so that they come in gradually. So this is the second one. Just change their timing, their position in the timeline so that they won't come in all at the same time. Alright, so if we now play it from beginning, you can now see that it has a simple motion. So if we play it again, you can see that it's a very simple motion. Okay. So when you go to the animation tab, you can make use of some of these animations here. You can make use of some of these animations, or you can come to transitions and have some of their transitions. Let's try out one of those. Which one should I go for? Okay. Let's just try a simple. Let me go with this zoom in so you download it. What just happened? Okay, that's not how I intended that to be. Let's go back to the animation and then why is it happening like that? Okay, so I guess our timeline is not long enough to fully express what we want to make use of. Let's come to the transitions part. So it says there is no continuous clips at position. So I think our clips are a bit very short, so you can extend your clips a little bit so that it gives you some space. Alright, so select the layer you want to affect and then let's add some keyframes. So keyframes are more like timestamps that helps you to change your motion from time to time. So let's use this one. Let me see, you can hide it and unhide it. Okay, let's start with this one, just like what we did with Premiere Pro. Look at this now. These are the keyframes icon. So like I said before, if you're making an animation or a motion graphics, the first thing you should do is to add your end keyframe. That means the first keyframe you should put is how the animation would finally end. So if this is how I want my animation to end, I will add my keyframe. So once you do that, you see the keyframe icon. So once I now move back to the beginning, I can now make the adjustments I want to make. So if I reposition it, you can increase. No, let's undo that. So we added a keyframe for only the scale. So let's add for transform as well, because transform has to do with the X and Y position. So once you come here, you can now move this, and once you move it, you can maybe increase the scale and maybe take it outside the frame and then add the keyframe again. So when you now play it back, you can now see that it comes from that side. And then if you want to make it a little more dynamic, you can still add as many motions as you like, but don't make it too busy. Do you understand? So you can reposition this here and maybe add a transform keyframe. So once you play it, it goes like this. So this is just a slow version. So you can also move your keyframes. So you select the keyframes and you move the keyframes forward so that everything happens faster, so it doesn't spend too much time. So that's just something simple you can do. Give me 1 second. Alright, so let's just quickly do that for the rest of them. So this is this one. Let's say it came from the top, so we would have, let's see how the movement appeared. We would have, after this one lands, when it lands here, so you have to observe the movement. When it lands there, you select this and apply the scale and transform keyframe, and then you go back to the beginning. If you have a hard time understanding this, you don't need to worry. I'm going to redo this using my phone, and I'll send the video to the group so it will be easier for the smartphone users to understand. So you can change the position, maybe take this upwards and hide it, and then add the position keyframe so that when you play it, it happens just as expected. So let's move this keyframe back here. So let's just play it. So we have, can you see that? So it's just a simple motion. Okay, let's proceed. So we are going to do the same with every other thing. These other ones, let's make them come from the top. So once this guy lands, the main one, each of them should come from the top. So with this layer selected, you can engage the transform keyframe and then take it upwards or down depending on where you want to position it. Oh no, we did that wrongly. So like I said, the first thing you should always add is the last keyframe. So this is the last keyframe. This is how we want this to end, how we want the animation to end. So we can scroll back in time and move this one upwards and just hide it anywhere you want to hide it. So it automatically adds a keyframe there. So once you scroll down, you can now see. So we'll do the same for this other one here. When this guy lands, we add the final keyframe for this other one. If you have any question, you can drop it in the comment section. I will attend to it right away. So you can now move your playhead backwards and then drag this up as well, so that when you play your animation, you now have something like this. Do you understand? So this is just something basic and simple. So you can animate your shadows as well. So let's say we want the shadows to, immediately this one lands, the shadow has to show. Okay, so let's go to transform and then move this backwards and then drag it down so that once we play it, it comes in. So let's play from beginning. Okay, so you can have your text come in when all the magic has happened with these guys. So when it comes in, we can now drag this our text, select all of them, You can move them one after the other if your phone does not allow you to move them together. So once you do that, I don't know if you've seen some ads online, maybe when you're browsing, some ads online that actually have this look. So they just come in like this. So you can add some transitions if you want to. I don't want to spend too much time on this laptop CapCut, so that I can just move over to the smartphone and quickly make a screen recording. So you can adjust your timeline based on your own preferences. Okay. So once you play that from the beginning, you now see that this is what happens. I didn't want to spend too much time with the text animation and all of that. I would explain that when I'm recording with my phone. So once you're done, you can now export and share. I think you can go to share and export and share. If you're using your laptop, or if you're using your phone, you'll see it as export. So it's just something simple. So I was just using this to explain a concept, since I was unable to connect my phone before we started. All right.